Mr Chairman, it's a pleasure to rise and speak in the current debate. Mr Chairman, it's been interesting to listen to the opposition spokespeople speak about what they will do for provincial development. Let's just start at the beginning and look at some of the facts. Something like 72% of the country's gross export earnings come from our primary sector. It'll come as a surprise, I know, to the like of Grant Robinson, that these businesses and industries are based in the provinces, based out in the rural province and small town areas of New Zealand. It'll also come as a big surprise to the like of Mr Robinson that those sectors, particularly in areas such as Taranaki or the Taranaki King Country where I come from, represent about 95% of what the economic activity is in those areas. And let's just look at Taranaki in terms of GDP per capita by region. Taranaki produces per person about $560,000 in export earnings per person. Compared with most other areas in New Zealand, that is substantially ahead. So just ask the simple reason, why is that? Well, because over the last 7 or 8 years, particularly in the time of this government, there has been massive development in the sector that produces the wealth. And that is, Mr Speaker, obviously the dairy industry and also the oil and gas industries. And those are the areas, ironically, that our colleagues on the other side, particularly in the Green Party, have a great aversion to. Constantly saying we need cleaner, smarter, more sustainable activities in the area. Well, let's just have a look at well, okay, if that's a fact, then why don't we use some facts and measure against that? So what the members are saying is that industry that grows in non-rural areas is cleaner and smarter. Yet actually our agricultural sector, particularly our dairy industry, has the lowest carbon production of any industry in the world. Any dairy industry in the world, we have the lowest carbon production of any industry. We have the cleanest water of any other agricultural sector where that activity takes place in the Taranaki. And 22,000 kilometres of fencing and planting, which the Green Party never touch on. We have, Mr Speaker, some of the smartest technology innovation. Companies like TrueTest, companies like CEDAX that have invented a machine for measuring grass growth and the metabolisable energy of the grass so you know what you're growing and how much nutrient it uses to grow it. We are world leaders in this area. Mr Speaker, we have at our processing end some of the most sophisticated, largest and most efficient processors in the world, which produce sophisticated smart products like nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals. Here's a question for the Greens and for the Labor colleagues. Apparently, the American company New Holland have developed a tractor that will run on hydrogen. When did the Green Party promote that last? Yet we have something like 2 billion extra people forecast to need feeding in the world by the year 2050, which are going to have smart technology to feed them. What are the Green Party saying about that? When did I hear about that innovation recently? When did they promote that? They wouldn't know about it. The real irony, the hypocrisy or the irony of their debate, Mr Speaker, is they've never been there, they don't know, they live in cities, but they throw stones at those that are out there doing it. So what's the alternative? The Minister, the Honourable Stephen Joyce, touched on some of the alternatives they've put up. They intend to introduce a capital gains tax. They're going to introduce a methane tax on methane emissions from animals. They're going to lift the income tax. They're going to have higher company tax. They're going to put limits on livestock numbers. They're going to limit nitrate use. They're going to do away with the 90-day trial period in employment. They're going to do away with the reforms that we've done to the RMA. They're going to put higher ACC charges. All of these things, according to Grant Robinson, are standing alongside industry, helping industry to grow. Well, Mr Speaker, it'll come as a big surprise to someone like Mr Robinson, who lives entirely within the Beltway and never sets foot outside of the Beltway, that industries require innovative, focused government policy that allows industry to get on. In fact, what the industries want more than anything else is for the government to get out of their way, to stand back and let them grow, let them do what they are good at, and they are the best in the world, not put up further hurdles in front of them, Mr Speaker. But the government has invested a lot of money. There was a recent Mr Speaker. Mr
Call
Speaker.
Shane Arden.
No.
I'm not calling Shane Arden then, I'm calling Colin King.
A pleasure to take a call during the Appropriations 2014-2015 Estimates Bill debate, and I just want to focus on the fine job